generate a counterpulse substantial enough to blanket the entire Kronos 2 orbital sector. To do so, we will have to venture into the remains of the Astraea that were left behind in 2126, and use the ship's primary drive exchange conduit to amplify the output of the Cure Bomb. For that plan to work, Jack would have to physically bring a counterpulse device back with him. Something he can't do digitally.
I'm not talking about digital time travel.
Oh, I see.
Where have I seen this before?
I believe that is one of the Astraea's FTL drives. I recall seeing a number of them while retrieving the fuel cell from the wreckage.
What do you think, Apollo? Could it work?
I'll need to run some models, but it's possible.
What the hell are you two on about?
I'll explain everything once Jack and I are on our way to the Astraea.
We'd best get moving.
Hold on! No one's going anywhere until one of you gives me something resembling an explanation. No, if you want to send Jack back out to that plague-infested garbage scow, you have to at least give a reason.
We wait. But the longer we wait, the less chance we have to succeed. Captain, I know I already asked far too much of you both, but I have taken this as far as it can go. I need your help to finish it.
Oh. What do you need us to do?
Jack, you and I will make our way back to the Astraea's drive bay. You'll need my assistance to unlock the FTL housing. Captain Rose, if you would remain here with Dr. Harlan, there's some specialized equipment we'll need to fabricate and assemble.
Oh. Brilliant.
Opening airlock.
Jack. Let us know when you've reached the Astraea.
Copy that.
Airlock cycling. Stand by.
Watch yourself over there, Jack. Don't let those ticks give you too much hassle.
I'm actually more concerned that I'll somehow damage the FTL and destroy the ship.
And now so am I.
No need for concern, Jack. I'll be there to supervise. I've never had an FTL overload on my watch.
Really only takes one though, doesn't it? Just be careful, Jack. And before you ask, yes. That's an order.
Exiting portside airlock.
We need to make our way back to the Astraea, to the auxiliary drive bay.
All right, Apollo, you're on your way. I'm waiting for my explanation.
We all agree simply transmitting Jack's consciousness into the past won't work this time. However, if we were to appropriate one of the Astraea's remaining FTL drives, the Doctor and I believe we may be able to use it to return both you and Jack to the 22nd century.
You're saying we might be able to go home?
I'm reticent to make any assurances, but yes, I believe it is possible. Assuming at least one of the drives is still operational.
I thought you said we couldn't access the drives because of all the biomass.
That was before we had the counterpulse.
Well, that's great, but do you have some way for Jack to administer it?
Jack, make your way to the nearest fabricator. I have a new modification for your shell.
Understood.
Shields at 95%. Integration successful. Your new counterpulse device is ready to be equipped.
I expect you'll find it quite an effective tool for combating the biomass.
It's a weapon?
A focused counterpulse emitter, based on a design from my own timeline and calibrated to the same wavelength as the treatment we administered via the medical pod.
Cure gun. Nice.
Understand, this device will only eliminate the older, more primitive biomass. The more evolved forms from this time period will just be temporarily incapacitated.
Regardless, it should make short work of the biomass surrounding the Astraea's FTL drives. It's possible with more research data we could refine the treatment wavelength even further, making the device that much more efficient.
Which would allow the emitter to discharge more shots before overheating.
Certainly fixed you right up, didn't we?
We're ready to proceed to the drive bay. In the meantime, Captain Rhodes, I will need you to assemble a custom gantry to secure the FTL once it's in our possession. I've already fed the necessary specifications to the fabricators.
Good. I'm in the mood for a bit of work.
Moving out into the debris field now.
Just get that FTL and get back here quick as you can. No sense spending any more time over there than you need to.
Agreed.
Alright, let's assume this works. Let's say you two track down a working FTL. We get it hooked up, and Apollo manages to recreate a physical time jump that, by some miracle, sends us back home to our own time. How exactly are we supposed to eliminate all the biomass once we're there? I mean, it's not like we can just set off a bomb and blow it all to smithereens. That's exactly what you're planning to do, isn't it?
Well, not a bomb so much as a device that will unleash a sudden and forcible burst of energy across a widespread area.
So, a bomb.
Yes, a bomb. But one that emits a counterpulse that should only be harmful to the biomass.
Brilliant.
I'm a tactical AI. Most of my solutions tend to involve some form of explosion.
And who's going to build this thing? I mean, I can do it, but my hands are a bit tied at the moment.
I can easily repurpose existing equipment to construct a counterpulse dispersion catalyst.
Cure bomb.
Very well. Cure bomb. We will also need a means of transport, ideally one that can regulate the catalyst's energy signature.
The cargo drones should be more than capable of assembling the materials we need.
Excellent. I will transmit the details.
Wait a second. How is Jack's reboot ability supposed to work in the past without the fabricator network?
My design for our makeshift transport includes a single fabricator to accommodate Jack's reboot for the duration of our mission. Once we've detonated the catalyst and are out of danger, we can address reintegrating Jack's protocols into an Atlas network.
Assuming all this goes to plan.
Well, yes. It would be rather difficult to operate on the opposite assumption.
Shields at 95%. Shields at 95%.
I've reached the drive bay.
How's it looking there?
More or less how we expected.
That bad, is it?
Jack, the removal process will require access to several mechanisms throughout the drive bay. Any live ticks in the area will undoubtedly make our job that much more difficult.
Understood. I'll clear them out.
Our aim is to locate a viable FTL drive. We need one that is suitably infected with biomass, but not to the extent that it is overrun.
The Goldilocks FTL.
An accurate, if somewhat antiquated metaphor. Once we find a suitable drive, we'll need to remove it from its housing and extract it via the corresponding service port. The removal process is no easy task, but I can walk you through the procedure.
All clear, Apollo.
Acknowledged. Now then, we should start by identifying any FTLs that are still extractable. Look for drives whose locking pins are largely clear of biomass at the upper and lower extremities.
Understood. I'll see if there's a drive that's clear enough to move.
Anyone able to cross their fingers, do it now.
Some biomass is present, but not enough to impede the locking pins. Now to inspect the opposite end. The locking pins on this end also appear to be free of any obstruction.
Confirmed. Cursory inspection verified. Internal biomass growth is also suitable for our needs.
Is that our winner?
It certainly appears so.
So we're good to go.
Nearly. The FTL will first need to be primed, which requires filling the drive with an ionized fluid and stimulating a hybrid voltaic reaction.
Is that as dodgy as it sounds?
Priming the drive is a fairly standard procedure. Moving a drive after it's been primed is most certainly not.
How do we start the procedure?
The drive controls are offline. You'll need to initiate the process manually. Look for an access panel on the side of the FTL drive.
Access panel located.
You'll have to cut your way in. Pull the lever inside and the drive will begin priming. Once the injection process is complete, I will funnel all remaining power in the drive bay to the FTL.
Drive priming initiated.
Injection complete. I will now attempt to create a sustained reaction by applying any remaining power. Stand by. Sustained reaction achieved. We're ready to remove the drive.
Outstanding.
What's next, Apollo?
The FTL drive is held in place by locking mechanisms at its upper and lower extremities. They must be manually released before the drive can be removed.
Got it. I'll release the locks.
The release mechanisms are housed within the drive moorings at both the top and bottom of the chamber. You'll need to cut your way in.
Understood. I've gained access to the drive locking mechanisms.
The release control is located on the drive itself, between the locking pins.
Upper locking mechanism released.
Good. Once you release the lower lock, the drive should come free.
Drive unlocked.
Excellent. I've repowered a nearby control panel so you can complete the removal procedure. The controls will allow you to position the drive so it can be easily removed via cargo drone.
Controls located.
To move the drive, simply grip the interface, then slide your hand toward the outer wall.
Moving FTL into position.
Stay on there, Jack. That's all right home.
Once the drive reaches the outer wall, you can open the... Jack, be advised. Ticks inbound.
Stand by. I'll deal with them.
They must have been drawn out by the drive's substantial energy signature.
Tick threat neutralized. Resuming removal process at the control terminal.
Once the drive reaches the outer wall, you can open the surface port to make the drive available for retrieval.
The drive is in position. How do I open the service port?
Multi-operator release controls on either side of the hatch.
Removal process complete. The FTL drive is ready to be extracted.
Good work, Jack. Drones are on their way.
Copy that.
Ready to depart with the cargo in T-10 seconds. If you plan to accompany the drive, I suggest you take hold now. Departing in 3, 2, 1. Thrusters engaged.
I'm exiting the drive bay.
Give the Astraea a wave as you go. Suppose this is the last we'll be seeing of her.
I'm afraid that's not entirely accurate.
What do you mean?
To ensure we eliminate all the biomass in the past, we will need to generate a counterpulse substantial enough to blanket the entire Kronos 2 orbital sector. To do so, we will have to venture into the remains of the Astraea that were left behind in 2126, and use the ship's primary drive exchange conduit to amplify the output of the cure bomb.
Kinda grows on you, doesn't it?
not unlike a biomass infestation.
So, where am I?
I will need you to accompany us into the wreckage. As acting captain of the Astraea, your authorization is required to access the primary drive bay.
Right. Well, I've nearly finished rigging up the gantry. Should be good to go by the time the drones turn up with the FTL. I'll see you back here shortly.
Acknowledged.
Jack, I should tell you, if our plan succeeds, it is unlikely you will be able to return to this timeline. If there are any outstanding tasks you'd like to finish, now might be the opportune time.
Understood. This will transport not only the cure bomb, but also the captain and myself.
Correct. It won't be particularly fast,
Or comfortable.
but it should be safe. Still, Captain, for posterity, you'll want to stay clear of the thrusters, though your suit should be more than capable of...
I'm worried, you know. I'll only cozy up to the hospital start to get chilly.
Facetiousness aside, I doubt that will be an issue. Our intended date of arrival corresponds with the Astraea's wreckage still burning through a sustained plasma reaction. Radiation levels will be quite high. The transport's dampener, however, will...
Listen, you two become scared, don't you? I get it, though. Be careful.
Thank you.
What? I secured it. It's fine.
How much more power will the FTL require to engage?
The draw will be substantial, but within capacity of the station's generator.
That is why we primed the drive beforehand. Without doing so, the generator would burn out before we completed the jump.
Yeah, let's not have that happen. All right, Doc. The gantry's rigged up. I think we're all set here.
Jack, I want to remind you again. Once we start this process, we are effectively locked in. Your shell will be exclusively paired to the fabricator on the rear of the transport rig. If you exceed its range, you will be forced to reboot. If you have any remaining tasks you'd like to address, this is your final opportunity.
Yes, I believe I could use a little more time. There's still more of the station I'd like to investigate.
Certainly. In the meantime, we will continue our preparations.
Just come let us know when you're all squared.
I understand. I'm ready to begin.
Very well. Moving FTL into position. Everyone, keep clear.
Will do. Clamps are set. Bring her in.
How are you feeling?
Better, actually. It's weird. I didn't notice how much the infection was affecting me until I was rid of it.
Imagine if the disease had had time to progress.
I'd really rather not, thanks.
Drive secured.
Confirmed. Connection established. The FTL is now linked to the station's power grid.
Reading vigorous biomass activity within the drive. The infection is feeding off the FTL's energy field.
I assume that's good.
It's expected. Begin diagnostic and compatibility check. Verify functionality of all drive components. This should only take a moment.
No problem. We'll just sit here in nervous anticipation.
Very well.
I will admit, this arrangement feels decidedly less secure than our last jump through time.
He has a point, Apollo. You basically have us riding a literal time bomb into the past. Mind-bendingly awesome as that might sound, you are sure this is gonna work, right?
The odds of success are surprisingly favorable, especially when one considers all the variables at play.
So we can work with that.
Diagnostic and compatibility check complete. Stand by while I reconfigure the FTL's drive settings to mirror the exact conditions that first sent the Astraea back in time.
Dr. Harlan?
Yes, we have to get clear of the platform. I know.
Well, I guess this is it.
So it would seem. Captain, I wanted to say I'm sorry. I was wrong to keep you in the dark as long as I did. Perhaps if I trusted you sooner. In any case, I hope you can forgive me, though I don't expect you to. Right. Well, goodbye.
Dr. Harlan, thank you. What you're doing here, she'd be proud of you.
She'd be angry with me.
Oh, yeah, probably. But she'd still be proud.
Thank you. Both of you. For helping me put an end to this.
Doctor, we should really be going.
Yes. All right.
We'll do everything in our power to stop the biomass.
I know you will.
FTL settings configured. As soon as the doctor is clear, we can begin spinning up the drive.
Farewell, Captain Rhodes.
Take care of him, Juno.
Of course, always. Goodbye, Jack. I will make sure to permanently archive all of the time we have spent together.
I'll miss you too, Juno.
Good luck saving your timeline.
Popcorn? It's okay. Well, what do you say, Jack? You ready for this?
I am if you are.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Apollo, we are clear.
Very well. Commencing final jump prep.
Listen. I realized I never properly thanked you. Well, everything.
That's what I'm here for.
Pretty sure hibernating for 4 centuries falls outside the scope of your directives.
Clearly, you and I have different interpretations of my directives.
Clearly. Well, regardless, thank you.
Of course.
FTL spin-up complete. Drive reports green.
Remember, you need to trigger the device before the Ithaca reaches the infected zone. That should be enough to alter the course of events. Prevent the biomass from spreading.
Understood.
We'll get it done.
Transferring manual control to transport. Ready to execute jump.
Godspeed. To you both.
All right, Jack. On you, Jack.
FTL engaged.
See you in a tick.
Jumping in 3, 2,